Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, good evening, iRace fans, and we're time here tonight. Bristol. That's right, short track racing for the Sim500 Ford Entertainment Group Xfinity Series, and these guys are racing in the chase tonight, Bristol-wise, and there's a lot on the line here too, Alex, because the round of 8 is around the 12, excuse me, is right here after this. So we saw an exciting one last week at Richmond. Tonight ought to be a really good, exciting one here tonight, as it looks like Ryan out on pole. Your thought on this track here?
Dude, you know me, I like short track racing. If we could race at a short track every week, I would not be upset with that at all, Joe. But yeah, like you said, cutting down from 16 chase drivers to 12 today. And we got some guys that are right there on the bubble that need to make some make some progress, because I know some of them have been MIA, it seems, the last week or so, and looks like we got most of those guys back in.
Except for Josh Parker.
No, he's right there.
Where's he at? Oh, yeah.
Third.
I was at Doug. I guess I better. My bad, folks. My bad.
Yeah, but
now he's one of the ones that's yeah, he's one of the ones that didn't show up last week now, and interesting.
Yeah, I think it's because you're usually so used to seeing him start towards the back that you didn't expect him to start third tonight. Maybe he's here to make up a lot of ground. I mean, right now he's sitting 11th in points. He's got a nice little 9-point cushion over Jose, who's in 12th, but Jose's got some Mike Kelly right behind him with just 4 points behind him. So we'll see, because Jose's out here. Like I said, Josh Parker's out here, but I'm not really seeing.
Well, one of the bad things is by those guys missing last week, it puts them in a massive hole to Daniel Falcon. I mean, and you know how he's been running. I mean, just like gangbusters up front. I mean, he's right there on the outside. So as long as he keeps running like he is, it's going to be a tough one. Someone catch him. Now, we talked about it many times. Making mistakes on the track. Well, Falkenham does not make many mistakes, and at this point, I think that's what they're going to need, is for him to make a mistake.
Yeah, but I think the chances of that are probably less than us getting attacked by another country or something. So
that might happen.
Both are very low probability cases.
I don't want it to happen. Let's say it that way. I don't want it to happen. Well, we'll have to see. If this is a track though where and we're coming up on some other tracks too. You know, Talladega's another.
Green flag.
But this is a track here tonight that can be an unknown. As we go green flag, you see Ryan Howard get up front. I mean, I think the best thing is what Falkenham's doing right now. Get out front, stay out front, stay out of trouble. The problem is, if it goes long green flag, you know and I know, eventually he's going to catch lap traffic. And when he does, well, it's still danger lurks around every corner.
Right, and that can, with those long green flag runs catching up to that lap traffic, I mean, you can get kind of one of two things are going to happen. One, either he's going to slice and dice right through them, or they're going to slow him up, and some of those guys running behind him are going to catch up real quick and make things a little bit more exciting.
Absolutely. Already green flag flying, because we already got some 2x2 racing going on back here in the back. So, a lot of good stuff, man, happening already. This back here.
Yeah, that's a big pack for Bristol. I mean, even after a restart, still 5 laps in, I still think that's a pretty big pack right there. But I don't know. I feel like this middle line, middle of the lope, is probably the strong one for today.
It is for right now. Normally, Bristol, tends to kind of be a top feed track. After a while, it is. And everybody's on new tires. Now, they redid it a lot, and we, could be surprised. We could see some side by side. You do see the front guys with all single file, but back here is just 2x2 all the way back.
And you got Jose right there at the front of that group, just coming out of the picture right there. He's making up some ground after not being present last week, so he's kind of doing what he's got to do, climbing up to, 6th now? So he's doing some good stuff right here. Chasing down Scott Simley, I believe, or Anthony Calatoni, excuse me, as he and Jose are kind of duking it out for that 6th place spot looking in.
and that's what these guys are going to have to do. That actually, missed last week. They're going to have to, on an unsure track tonight, really. I mean, Bristol, like I say, being unsure. And you just never know what's going to happen at a place like this. Come in here, you've got to now capitalize on every little bit possibly can as going to get spread out now. You go to Tommy Ryan, who's second to points, had a good finish last week. Right now, though, he's sitting 13th, kind of struggling a little bit right there with David Comstock.
There's David Comstock. I was wondering if he'd make it out tonight, and there he is. Now, he has a lot of ground to make up if he wants to make this cut for the 12.
Yeah, and at some point, you just kind of understand that you might not be able to make it. Kind of chalk it up as, okay, we're just going to have a good night until we can come out of here with. So Tommy right now, though, he's the one he's really close. I mean, try to get to Falkenham. Right now, Falkenham's just doing everything he needs to do to stay out front and dominate.
Yeah, and that's the best he can do right now is exactly what he's doing for Daniel Falkenham, being up front, not letting anybody really get up to him, challenge him, be up there where he could get. I mean, Ryan Howard's been holding on. He's latched on. He hasn't let him run away, Daniel Falkenham style, but the two of them have run away. But Dory Woods is still coming up a little bit too. He
don't do it.
Came up pretty quick, separated himself, and here he comes.
On there. Josh falls back into the fourth place spot. You got Scott Simley there hanging on to fifth. Jose, like you said, trying to bounce back. He's up to sixth. Anthony Calatoni. Hey, he's in that cut also. He's right there in the seventh. Robert Gillenwater, another one. Mike Kelly in ninth. Kevin Brown hanging on the place spot. So everybody's kind of single file nose to tail, and this is your kind of typical Bristol run right here.
Absolutely is. Like, you never usually see, I feel like we say this every week, you never usually see guys coming up super fast just because it's such a short track. Because you get out of the turn and, like, right here, 1, 2, 3, and you're back in a turn. So, like, it's just so, it's so quick for the change. I'll say a change of scenery as you're going around this track. So usually you won't be seeing that.
A lot of it is the momentum of somebody in front of them just losing it. You're able to get around a pass on them. It'll be interesting to see when Daniel actually catches, because it won't be long now and he starts catching some of the lap traffic. What is he going to be able to do there? Because once the leader gets in lap traffic here, even though we have 20 cars on the field, it's still a shorter track. Once he starts catching that lap traffic, getting out of lap traffic, he'll pretty much be in it for the most part the entire race. And at some point, he'll get to a part on the track where guys are going to be battling, racing, trying to stay on the lead lap. And right now, Ryan Howard, though, is sticking with it.
Yeah, he's doing a good job of not letting them go too far ahead. And Dory Woods is still floating around that 1 second mark. He's not really letting them run away too much. But then after Dory Woods, you got that fourth place on. They're just falling back a little bit more, it seems, lap after lap after lap. And, yeah, it's been growing a little bit. So, but Ryan Howard and Dory Woods both doing a great job of making sure that Daniel Falkenham does not do Daniel Falkenham things up front.
And the biggest cluster right now is you got to look back here around about 7th on back. I mean, it's a freight train style, but anything can happen with this pack of cars. We're looking right here at Mike Kelly in 9th, 10th, 11th place spot. Talk about that position area a lot week in and week out, but kind of a hot spot right now because you do see a cluster of machines. Comstock working on the back end of Kevin Brown. Tommy Ryan's right there along with it. So that's 3 great drivers marred back in traffic, not up front, already. I don't want to say struggling, but you already see how hard it is to come through this field.
Yeah, Mike Kelly's sitting there in 9th place. Let's go back to him really quick. He's in that 13th place spot for the playoff bubble. So he's kind of doing what he needs to do. I think a top 10 will definitely help him, but I think maybe as the race goes on, he should probably try and get up a little bit farther because you got Tommy Ryan right there behind him. You got Robert G right in front of him. Kevin Brown, David Comstock, and all those guys. So they're going to keep rolling up as you see Tommy Ryan working over him on the inside. So I feel like he needs to get a pretty good finish here tonight if he wants to make that cut, because he's only 4 points behind Jose, who's 5 spots ahead of him, 6 spots ahead of him. So he needs to put in some work tonight.
And he's trying right there. He's kind of caught up. You see Ryan was able to get around him. Robert Dillon Waters down. It's a good battle with him side by side with Chad Coleman. Now Tommy's starting to get a little bit of momentum coming through. You see Mike Kelly now trying to bear on the inside of Robert Gillenwater. Is going to try to take that spot away. Just kind of see how hard it is to get around this track and make a pass. Usually takes about a lap or two to get around or make it. Oh, and we just talked about a contact right there. And that is not what Mike Kelly wanted to see.
No, that's not what he wanted at all.
That might actually do it for him, because he stopped on the track, towed it into pit road, and that right there probably just done in his hopes to get in the top 12 in points.
Yeah, and seeing how, like, you were just talking about it, and that's just, it's the name of the game sometimes, Joe.
It is. I mean, you just never know.
Beast.
We talk about short track racing, and we talk about, being at wrong place, wrong time. And unfortunately, Kelly was doing everything he needed to do, hanging on to that spot, but then just a little bit of contact sends him out. And I mean, it's racing. It's unfortunate. Don't ever want to see anybody that happen. It's just he's still. And we talked about Tommy Ryan. Like, Tommy Ryan's on the move. He's up to 7th already, making waves and passing. We saw him last week have a good run.
Well, now, all right, let's compare it to last week. Last week he had a great out front car, but once he got in traffic, he was having a little bit more of a struggle with it. This week, it seems like he's got a pretty good in traffic car, and like he's just found another gear that some of these guys haven't been able to find yet. And we'll see if he can make his way up there, because we're like 41 out of 150. We're already almost a third of the way done with this race here tonight.
And the question always comes up: who's going to pit first? Who's going to do this and that? Because pit stops is one thing that at this place, or at the series that they run in, they run 100% fuel. Well, we know they could go the entire distance on fuel because it's Bristol. We know they could go well over 150 laps on. Well, they could go close to it. Let me rephrase that. I don't know if they could go hold on. One pit stop, I think, is what we're going to see. But when is that pit stop? I mean, they could take this thing to almost 100, maybe 110 laps.
Yeah, I think the fuel window's just at about 100, if not maybe give or take probably about 5 laps each direction, and you're sitting right there in your fuel window. Depending on how hard you're running, obviously, and whatnot, but I think thereabout is where that fuel window is. But like you said, the question is, when's the time?
Right, and you don't want to wait too long. If you're way back in the back, I'm gonna say even work, 5th, maybe 8th on back. You don't want to, wait too long, because then you're gonna run out of time trying to get to the front.
Right, and seeing how some of these guys need to make some moves in regards to playoffs, I think maybe we might see some off the wall bonkers pit strategies. Because what we saw was it was just the other week we saw someone trying to pit it. It was, I believe it was another 150th race, and they pit at lap 50, tried to go the rest of the way or something like that, and then the late caution happened and threw the wrench in the plans. I believe that happened recently.
Yeah, and I'm with you on that one. You can't wait too long, especially when you're already seeing these guys in the back. I mean, it's hard to pass, hard to come through the field. You already see it right now.
Right, and Tommy Ryan's still going. He's still got that extra gear that everyone hasn't seemed to have found yet, and he's rolling up front. And Daniel Falkenham up front has a new chaser behind him. Josh Parker making that pass from Ryan
Parker's
Howard.
actually closing in on him. You see just how close it is right now. I mean, Parker just about 5 to 10 laps ago was 3 seconds back. Now he's right there on the back bumper of the leader.
Yeah, this is what we were talking about, hitting that lap traffic. Jeff Ryan right there, or I mean, Yoakum, I believe. Excuse me, in the 8 right
Randy
there.
Yoakum.
Yeah, Randy Yoakum came up and gave Daniel Falkenham a little, just had him slow up a little bit right behind him, and that gave Josh Parker and Ryan Howard the ability to catch up. As Ryan Howard, Josh Parker, gosh, whose name am I picking out of the hat tonight, Joe?
Well, and here's the thing. I hate that Parker missed last week. I don't know why. I mean, it might have been, something at work or something at control. Because, and I don't want to take anything away from anybody else or any competitor on the field, I feel like Parker was probably the number one choice or number one threat to take this title or hopes away from Daniel Falkenham. But he's in such a far hole right now that all really Falkenham, I think, has to do from this point on is finish top 5s, top 10s. And it's really, you're talking about 50-some points back. There's going to be a huge hole to get back up to.
Yeah, it is. I mean, coming into last week, he was second in points.
He was. That's what I'm saying. And he lost so much. I don't know, why he missed and all, and then and so forth, so on. But putting yourself in a hole, you can already see he's there now. I'm not going to take anything away from Tommy Ryan, who sits second in points. He definitely has a fast machine, but he's going to have to get up there and get in front of Falkenham. Can he get up there and challenge, these guys week in and week out, all the way to the final four when we get to Atlanta?
Right, and like you were saying, Tommy Ryan definitely does have a fast machine. I mean, he's been showing us tonight as he's been climbing up through the ranks, because he was outside the top 10 25 laps ago, and now here he is coming through. He's already 6th. Got Scott Simley in his sights, so we'll see right there in front of him.
And I'm going to tell you right now, Tommy, that he's already moved up to 6. You see right now, Ryan Howard actually is pulling up on the back end of Falkenham. So Falkenham's falling off the pace a little bit. Maybe some of this lap traffic slowing him up some.
Right, and that's a concept that that I brought up already. We seem to talk about it every week. Like, you got that good car out front, or you got that good car in traffic. But then when you're in the other one, like if you got a good car out front and then you get in some traffic, you slow up a little bit. And that's kind of what I think is happening a little bit. But now looks like they got some clean air in front of them. So let's see if Daniel Falkenham has got an answer for Josh Parker right now, because we both know Josh Parker on these long runs. That's how he catches up all the way from the back. He's a great long run driver, and So is Daniel Falkenham and so is Ryan Howard. But Josh Parker just on those long runs, man, I don't think there's anybody on the track arguably that is stronger on those long runs than Josh Parker is. And that's kind of what we're seeing right now.
So he definitely does not want to see a caution right here. Probably on out throughout the entire race. You see Ryan Howard still moving in on Falkenham. Doey Woods falling back to the place spot. You got Scott Simley hanging on. Fifth, we talk about Tommy Ryan right there. And 6, Donnie Leah back out here. Good run for him up in the 7th. Anthony Calatoni in 8. David Comstock's moved it up to the 9th place spot. And Jose right there in the top 10. We talk about a good battle between Jose and then unfortunately Mike Kelly out of the race. Now, well, he's not out of the race. Yeah, he's out of the race. I hate that on his end because anything still could happen here tonight.
Yeah, and that's just a wild card for some of these guys, and that's what makes some of these short tracks kind of like I love Bristol. I mean, I just like the term wild card with it because that's what it is. It's like a short track version of a super speedway, because the super speedways, you and I both know, literally anything can happen. And here at this track, there are so many opportunities to happen. And I'm seeing Jose coming down pit road.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Jose's on pit road, but maybe we're going to start seeing these pit stops like we was talking about.
All right, so maybe he's trying to get that jump. Do we have both sides of pit road tonight, or are we using just one?
I think it's just one. I think it's just one.
It says Bristol Motor Speedway single pit roads. So yeah. I guess there's one.
I guess, yeah, so we'll just be on that one side.
Very well, very well.
Jose makes that pit stop there. Now it's going to be interesting to see what these guys up here. Look at Ryan Howard. He has moved up on the back bumper of Daniel Falkenham. He is there harassing the back end. Not really seen this much this season again, and that's what we talked about here at Bristol. Was this track going to bring, you know, what are you going to be able to do here? And if you're Falkenham here, do you press the issue and try to stay in front? I mean, you definitely don't want to wreck.
Right, you don't want to. I'd say it'd be smart for him to not really press it, because I mean, he's pinching him a little bit right there, but I don't know if he was doing that intentionally to pinch him, or if just because he was looking to get around that 3 car right there. So maybe that's the case, but I don't think Daniel Falkenham's really going to be pressing stuff too hard. I mean, he's got a cushion, and I think he's going to use it. I know he's a smart racer, and these guys know how to race each other and kind of push each other's buttons and whatnot. So here comes Jose. You can just see that difference right there between the new tires and old tires. But you could also see how difficult it can be to pass here, even with that. Like, these guys are just smart, kind of getting out of his way like that. So, because you don't want Jose coming up there in his speedy meatballs truck and getting the back of your car all saucy and whatnot. So, but I think Daniel Falkenham's going to do what he can to not really put himself in unideal situations.
No, and you can see Ryan right now, he's still working over him, and that's what you want to do. Make him make a mistake, or try to get him to make a mistake. We got some more pit stops, something like Joseph Fergus on pit road already, but you can tell the difference between new tires and old tires. It'll be interesting to see when these guys up here pit. Definitely, we're what, lap?
83.
Wow, and I mean, that's kind of short track right there for you. Things go away, and you can see. I mean, Ryan's still working over Falkenham, trying to see what he can do on the inside. But in the meanwhile, you see those guys that have pitted on newer tires, and that's kind of disrupting Ryan Howard just a little, trying to get around Falkenham because he's going to have to take a little bit longer than those guys with the newer tires.
Yeah, and something I want to point out too, just look at how far Josh Parker is getting ahead of these guys.
4 seconds ahead of him.
Like, golly. This guy's just rolling.
Well, it might be safe to say that Bristol might be one of his favorite tracks.
And then if we get the chance to talk to him, he's going to be like, dude, I hate it here.
I know, and
that's how it always goes.
I'm with you. Every time we say, well, you must like his plays. Nope, don't like it. You just won and dominated. I got lucky. And see, Ryan, though, he is not going to give up on the back of Falkenham. And I mean, this is what definitely Josh wants to see. I mean, Josh wants to maximize points, but he would love to see Falkenham have a bad race. I mean, I don't want to see any driver have a bad race. I still hate that Mike Kelly right there, had the problem he had earlier on. I don't want to see any driver, but, I know Parker in the back of his mind, and he probably feels the same way, I don't want him to have it, but I would like to see him maybe not finish in the top 10 and give me a little hope to climb out of this hole I've got in points.
Right, and I wonder how this race would transpire if, say, Daniel Falkenham got wrecked pretty hard here or something like that. And I don't envision him probably ever towing himself and, just backing out of the race or the session or anything like that.
Well, you should, unless the car is just totally destroyed. Because you never know.
I don't see that happening from a lot of these guys, and but I'm kind of curious to see how the breakdown would be with the rest of the field after that.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, as long as Falkenham keeps doing what he's doing, I mean, it's a good battle for second place right here. You see Ryan Howard, locking up door to door on the inside of Falkenham. Those two have been battling each other for the past, 5 or 6 laps. You see Joey Katina there in the newer tires. He's got to be very careful. He sees the battle in front here. I know Ryan doesn't want to relinquish it or fall back in line, but at some point, Tina and some of those guys are going to be like, well, we got to go. We want to get back on the lead lap. Think about it, there you go. Ryan just had to fall back in line again.
Right, and that's good showing on their part too, by knowing that these guys that pitted are faster than them. So that's one of the things I like about this league, is that they got a good heads up on that stuff. They're all extremely intelligent when it comes to racing these cars and how they work really well and whatnot. So now he's trying him on the outside.
Right there. Wow. This might be what Ryan needs. He finally was able to get that outside, which was working so well, and he'll put Falkenham down on the low side where he won't be able to get the grip. And yeah, that's what he needed, was to get that nose. He had to be very aggressive to do that too.
So he got a little bounce off the wall right there too.
See those guys with newer tires just coming up, are slicing through the field. It shows you how much more newer tires are so valuable here.
Right, and I mean, some of these guys up front still haven't pitted, so...
No. Actually, the top 8 drivers have not pitted. You got to go back to Chad Coleman here, who was the first, the last one who's not pitted. I mean, Jose Gonzalez is the first one that pitted on lap 70. Doey Woods pitted lap 93. Now, Doey Woods is probably going to be sitting the best as he goes right by Jose. The problem is he's sitting a lap down. Now you see Coleman and Falkenham on pit road. Obviously going to get 4 tires and fuel. But, yeah, Doey Woods pitted at 92. Tom Stock at 92, 82 for Tina, 91 for Lance Ripka. A little bit different pitch strategies here. Gonna have to see what this actually does for Falkenham coming on pit road this late.
Right, I'm kind of curious. I think that they're going to be hitting that fuel window pretty soon, man. So I think we'll see Josh and the rest of those guys come down.
We're at 102, aren't we? 100.
Yeah, 103 right now.
We talked about that. The pit window could be around 100 to 110. See Josh Parker still out there. Daniel Falkenham's going to go a lap down. You're going to go a lap down being out here. There are 6 cars on the lead lap. Well, you see Jose just got back. Actually, you might go 2 laps down, and there comes Josh Parker on pit road, our leader. That should bring the other guys in with him. I'm going to say Ryan. Well, I thought Ryan Howard would come in. He looks like he's going to take another lap.
I think he's going to take any points he can. Just leading a lap or something like that.
Yeah.
Then I'm voting he'll come down probably this time.
He'll stay out one more time.
Or a few more. Or he'll come down in a few more laps or something.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard telling. You see Josh pit. Then you got Anthony Calatoni. And
the yellow flag is out.
Josh Parker. A yellow flag is out. Ed Coleman crashed. Let's go back and watch on the replay what happened to Chad Coleman. But we need to go back here also after doing. Oh, and he just lost it coming out of the turn right there. Also, Josh Parker, I don't think he made his pit. Go back on the replay here. Not 100% sure exactly when that caution. He just drove through pit road. Well, he comes on pit road.
I thought
he only had a 9-second. He only had a
all the way
9-second
around.
pit stop. That's why I was saying. Got tires.
Well,
He only took 2 tires. Okay. So I don't know if when that caution came out, I didn't really see. I was just paying attention to his lead. Obviously, this benefits Ryan Howard hugely right here. Definitely. That caution benefits the guys who didn't pit. Scott Simley, Tommy Ryan, Donnie Leah, and Ryan Howard. Does not help a lot of the guys who were a lap down and did not get their lap back. Ryan Howard stopping. Just curious on that 2-tire stop. How that's going to affect the car. I don't.
He did only take 2?
He only took 2. Josh Parker did. And that's why I looked at that time, because it was 9 seconds, and I thought, well, maybe he just, kind of ran through pit road when the caution came out. Caution could have came out while he was actually coming down pit road, and his thinking is get back out. The bad thing is here is he's going to have to take the wave around because they put him a lap down. By that, he's not going to be able to pit. By rule in NASCAR, I know if you take the wave around, you cannot pit. But if you are the lucky dog or whatever they want to use nowadays for it, if you get that, you are able to pit. I mean, you're just going to start then along this line. But if you opt to stay out to get the wave around to get back on the lead lap, which is what a lot of these drivers are going to have to do. I'm just curious to now. I mean, this puts Josh Parker 1 in a hole, 2. He's got those 2 tires. How well are those 2 tires going to work here tonight? Daniel Falkenham's another one's going to be marred a little bit in traffic. Not bad off. He's going to be around 6th or 7th place spot, though. This caution basically mixed a lot of things up.
Absolutely did. And I mean, it worked out, like you said, awesome for these guys that held out and didn't pit yet. And seeing how some of them are front runners here in the chase, the playoffs, whatever you want to call it, as we're about to drop the green flag, go back. Whole field's not even stacked back up yet. Nobody knows. But these guys benefited extremely well from that caution. I mean, you got Daniel Falkenham still a lap down. You got Josh Parker just a plate
so
around.
He's going to want that. He's going to want the caution. Now, Josh Parker back on the lead lap. He's back here in 5th. Curious to see if he can maintain speed with those 2 tires. Definitely going to loosen the car up.
Yeah, I feel like we give him, I don't know, about 15 laps or so, and he'll find his extra gear, just like Tommy Ryan found his. You gotta give them both a little bit of time, and here they go. But Brian Howard jumped out to that quick lead right there. Tommy Ryan kind of hanging on.
A lot of these guys had some slow pit stops. They must have got damage fixed or something. Ryan Howard had a 21 second. Tommy had a 33 second. Scott was the fastest at 15. Jose at 28. So they must have got some little bit of repair done on that caution. But you see Tommy Ryan, he would love to put this thing in victory lane. Remember last week, the caution, or not the caution, but the pit strategy bit him. This week, maybe sitting right there in a good spot because that caution fell. He was able to go back in, get another set of tires. He's back up here battling for the lead.
Right, and this is honestly probably exactly what both of them wanted to see. And I mean, it's working out, and they're both going to take every opportunity they can, I think. Because that gap, if I'm looking at it right now, say Tommy Ryan comes home with it tonight, right? And it stays kind of the same for points right now, right? Because...
well, there's only like 20, 25 points between Ryan and Falkenham.
yeah, Tommy Ryan's back 23 points. A gap from first to second, right? Because they do the 5-point gap between first and second, right?
I believe they do.
So that gap from, if it stays the same right now, that's 5 points to second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. That's an 11-point jump for him.
And the one thing I really feel as well, I was about to say, don't want to see a caution because that's going to put Daniel Falkenham right back on the lead lap. You see Donnie Leah just losing it coming out of the turn. I was fixing to say the one thing that we just saw right there live, that Tommy and him does not want to see as a caution, because now it does put Falkenham back on the lead lap in 7th spot, and now he can gain more positions. If it would have went green on out, 7th would have been as far as Falkenham could have got, no matter what he does. But now he can get up here and battle for the lead because he's going to get that, lucky dog spot.
Right, and so I'm just going to throw everything I just said right in the track.
Yeah, I mean, and that's how it goes. Sometimes in racing, we think we got everything figured out. The next thing you know, boom. Curious, now they're coming on pit road. I mean, and why not? You only got, about 6 cars on the lead lap, 7 at the most. why not come in on pit road, just, 4 tires and fuel?
Yeah, why not? I would.
And now this, actually, the one guy who probably wanted to see this is Josh Parker, because remember, he took that 2 tires. Now he's going to be able to come in. Should take 4 on this pit stop. And we'll watch him here on his pit stop just to see. Take that long march down. Really, really slow pit lane speed here.
Those guys are off, and here he goes.
He's taking 4 tires this time. So really, I mean, like I said, the caution really, if it benefited anybody, 2, 1, Daniel Falkenham, 2, Josh Parker. Falkenham has yet to come on pit road. He has to wait before he can come on pit road. Even if he decides, I mean, he might decide not to. There, he's getting away with it. No?
Slow up, fall in line where he belongs.
He should have got the lucky dog and be back on that. The only one who did not pit was Jose. Which now Jose sitting in a position, like we said, he's trying to get in that top 12. Really, now he does have a lot to lose here. But he's wanting to win the race.
Right, he is. I believe he's sitting in that 12th and final spot, so.
Kind of curious
You're doing
why
what
Falkenham did not go into. I mean, he's going to have to go to the longest line anyway. Well, why not just go into the pits, get 4 tires?
I'm not sure.
I mean, you get the lucky dog, you still have to go to the longest line. You might as well still, go into pit road and get your 4 tires and fuel.
Makes logical sense to me, Joe.
Me too. Green flag, and Falkenham's just way back in the back here.
It seems like
traffic.
Yeah, it seems like tonight the field is having trouble getting completely set before those green flags drop, and
that's Bristol. Sometimes Bristol's weird like that.
I can see how it could be frustrating for some guys, though.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Battle right here, that actually is going to be Donnie Leah battle for position for 6 and 7. See Tommy Ryan down, like we just said, Josh Parker. Oh, and we just talked about Josh Parker, and look at that. Ooh. Lost it coming out. Well, he was coming through the field, and then just like that, just lost it. Wow.
All right, so riddle me this, Batman. Is he gonna go? Is he gonna be in the spot where he was when the caution flew?
No, he should get the EOL, which is only going to put him at the longest line. So it's actually technically going to put him. He'll still be in 7th. He'll just have to be back behind all the lap cars.
And 16 laps is a little too short a time for Josh Parker to get his long run speed.
I think so. Now you see Daniel.
Smacks that cone. Get out of my way, cone.
I saw that. He's bringing Donnie Leah and Parker along with him. They're going to the the back stretch, pit road. Front stretch pit. Just so slow on these pit roads. It's like 35 mile an hour.
Right. I mean, it's just agonizing. Oh. You're like, is this what's to drive through a school road?
Yeah.
I mean, yes, I am aware that school zones are 25, but just put it in perspective, it's like going from the highway
pit stop for Falkenham. See that? I think Falkenham got a penalty. I don't know if you noticed it when he came in or something. He might be getting some damage taken care of or something, but I know when he came in on pit road, he sped up and slowed down real quick. I don't know if they caught him speeding, but 30-second pit stop there. Still, it's only going to put Parker right in front of him. Parker's going to have to make some headway to get up front. Jose, though, is loving it. Out front right now, leading it with Ryan Howard.
Yeah, I feel like this is going to be an exciting last few laps here at Bristol tonight, Joe.
It is. What's up, Jason? How you doing?
These guys duking it out for some position. Get some good points tonight for some of these guys. Cut down a little off the bottom of that tree to get to the top.
A good solid racing. They're going to stack them back up side by side.
Josh Parker's right there.
He is. Parker's not out of this one. Neither is Tommy Ryan or any of those. And Jose, we saw how hard it was passed, how hard it was to pass earlier. Even though Jose is on those older set of tires, well, I have to see. I still think the newer tires are going to prevail.
Green flag, green flag.
He's going to try to get that good jump out front, but it won't take long before them guys probably run him down.
Yeah, and these guys kind of single filing it out up front kind of quick. Josh Parker dive bombing that thing into the turn, trying to see if he can get up there and contest him.
Losing it again. Crash in the back.
Caution, yellow flag.
Got to remember, these tires are they're like new. Cold, and you got to give them a lap or so to get up to the temperatures and get that grip. So, like I said before, Jose's probably the one liking these cautions a little bit out here.
Yeah, it gives him a chance not to wear out his tires, because I believe he is on an older set than these guys.
Oh yeah. He's about 25 laps or so older.
Daniel Falkenham was coming up deck. He was cruising too. Those new tires.
But that's been a good one, a good solid race, and obviously we always talk about cautions, breed cautions. That's kind of what we've seen here, guys. Now getting to the point where they're wanting to push the envelope a little bit.
I mean, it's Bristol. What else can you do, Joe?
Going.
Jose blinking too. I see a lot of blinking.
Yeah. All right, looks like we're going to be about, we go back green, going to be about 7 to go. Now, if you're Ryan Howard, Tommy Ryan, or even Josh Parker back there in the back, going through your mind as a racer right now, what do you feel like you got to do here on this track? I mean, obviously you don't want to wreck, and then earlier, especially Josh Parker pushed that car and then he lost it. So I know that's even going through, that's even further in the back of his mind there, thinking about like last time I did that, I spun. But what do you got to do to get up here and maybe win this thing?
I think they're just going to send it, Joe. That's what I do. I would just go for it.
Now, well,
It's
now
playoffs.
if you're Daniel Falkenham, what do you want to do?
If I'm Daniel Falkenham, I'm just watching the show. I got my box of popcorn right here, kicking my feet up and watching these guys duke it out in front of me because I have mitigated the points lost in this race with these cautions working out in my favor and being the opportunities that I have, and I'm just gonna watch them duke it out in front of me.
Go. Plan is to see Jose's bringing him around. Lights on the pace car, is about to set to go off as we're set to go back green flag racing. You got Ryan Howard there starting on the outside. Peter Gonzalez out front though, if he can't sneak out. Hey, he's done well. He's won 3 races this season. Oh, he knows how to get it done. Green flag, take off. It's a good jump out on the field. You see Ryan Howard's there with him. Gets away from Josh Parker and company now. That's what that he wants to see is Parker and him behind him have the battle.
Right, I believe Josh Parker and Jose are both the second winningest drivers this season compared to Daniel Falkenham. Both of them got 3, I believe is what I just saw, and Josh Parker just sends her down.
Oh yeah, that's
around
no
Ryan
tires
Howard.
right there hanging on. Oh, and Daniel Falkenham with a power move right there on the inside. He sent that thing to the inside of Ryan Howard. Howard's going to see what he can do with him, though. Falkenham's trying to get all the positions he can. And meanwhile, you got Tommy Ryan up there battling behind him. But look at Jose hanging on strong. I told you, track position here, it's tough to pass, and he's holding those guys off with those newer tires, and he's got the older. Time's winding out. 2 to go.
Right, we got 2 to go, and this is going to be Josh Parker's last chance to get around him right over here. So We'll see if we can do it. He dives inside.
One more time they get together. They made contact. Oh, that's going to collect the field, and Daniel Falkenham is involved. Josh Parker's involved. Ryan Howard's going to be the man. It's a drag race to the line, though. It is all Tommy Ryan going to win this one tonight, but what a wild finish here at Bristol. And Scott Simley is going to pull it off in 3rd. Daniel Falkenham falls all the way to 8th. So I'm going to say right there, what a hurt. Let's go back on the incident that happened, though. Go back on the caution here. Up front, you saw the leaders get into each other. And when they did, Tommy got a little damage. Ryan lost his hood. You see Daniel Falkenham spinning around right there, hitting the wall hard. Josh Parker hitting the wall. The good news for those guys is there was a lot more cars a lap down. That could have been a lot worse than what it was coming around the last lap if everybody was on the lead lap, because they could have been way back in the teens. Tommy Ryan just sneaking out of here winning this one. A wild finish to that one.
Right, I mean, seeing how what
Crazy.
So man, that's what you get. That's a super exciting finish, and like you said, Joe, they're all 3 of them are super lucky that a lot of those here were lap down.
Yes. I think that's what benefits Falkenham and them the most out of that. Now, still, Tommy Ryan's going to gain some points here, though.
Yeah, he's going to get, what, a 12-point jump, something like that? Yep. Cut that lead a little bit more than half that he's got under Daniel Falkenham right there.
All right, let's bring up 3rd place man Scott Simley. Get a word with him.
Hey, Scott Simley, Alex up at the booth. You got me? Scott Simley, Alex up in the booth. You got me, man?
Yeah, hang on a second. I got to turn these guys down. All right, I got you, man.
What's up, dude? So, all right, I'm just gonna hit the obvious first. What was it like seeing what transpired in front of you transpire, my dude?
That was pretty crazy. I mean, I saw him pushing up a little bit, and then I saw the contact, and then obviously the seas parted. But I thought I was going to get involved in it, and I kept checking up, but I didn't want to check up too much because I knew people were going to probably start coming around me. But I was able to check up just enough and go around it and pull off a third. So we'll take it, I guess. That was pretty wild.
Hey, man, I'd take it. Given where you were sitting what, fifth, sixth, something like that.
Yeah, I
right
think I was in sixth. Yeah.
Okay, but man, come home third place. Got a pretty good, solid race from you here tonight. Good points night for you, especially gaining some on some of those guys that are a little bit ahead of you. So that's always good. I mean, you knew you were locked in for the round of 12, whatnot. You were sitting pretty comfortable there, but any points you can take, you're going to get. So coming through the race, man, how does Bristol feel for you? Like, is it comfortable track? Is it like caution, like you race cautiously, or how does this track usually go for you?
I like the track. I've always liked racing here. It seems to fit my driving style for the most part. But tonight worked out pretty well. I wasn't sure, looking like we were going to go totally green there, and I saw, some people pitting, and I thought, I wasn't sure if it was, I know I could make it on fuel, but I was afraid, I didn't know how my right front was going to look like at the end of that, or if it would go flat on me because it would be so worn out. But we had the caution fly, so I didn't know what was going to happen, I guess, or didn't find out. But I like the track. It's a lot of fun. Usually have good luck here.
Heck yeah, man. It just shows you didn't get involved in that wreck or nothing. So congratulations on that, man. You got anybody you want to give a shout out to or thank for this come from behind third place finish here, dodging the accident in front of you, all that jazz?
Just all the admins, Joey from the league, FEG for sponsoring it, and you guys, of course, always up in the booth. Hopefully they enjoyed that crazy finish there tonight.
Oh, dude, we did. We were like, oh my gosh, what's happening over here? I used Joe's patented line, and I'm not infringing on his copyright to this line. It's the last lap, the white flag waves. You guys can all kill yourselves out there. The race is going to finish. So, in that, it seemed to have a little bit. So, congratulations again, man. Third place finish. Good points night for you here at Bristol.
All right, thanks, Alex.
Yo, Scott Simley, and I know I always call him Scott Smiley. He's definitely smiling there, coming home in third. And you're right, they actually did kill themselves on the last lap with that one. But second place, man, Ryan Howard. Let's bring it up here because he was close to winning it.
Ryan Howard, Alex up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you, Alex.
What's up, man? So here we are. You're starting up front the race. I'm not going to get to the exciting finish at the end until the end of this conversation real quick. So you're running super strong up there, not letting Daniel Falkenham do Daniel Falkenham things and get astronomical leads. And then Josh Parker comes out of nowhere, and then you take second, and that caution flies. Let me know what's running through your head right around there when you haven't pitted yet.
Yeah, I planned on running it all the way. I didn't really know what to do. Once I saw people pitting after lap 100, I'm like, well, what's the point now? Because laps click off so fast that I don't know how it would have played out. But the caution came out, I'm like, oh, that's perfect. There's like 5 cars on the lead lap. So I've noticed pattern with Josh. He lays back, saves a bunch of tire. So once I knew he was caught us, he was gone. Daniel really wanted to, I wasn't too happy. He really wanted to race us hard at the start. He was just trying to settle in and pitching me down on the first lap of the race. So that was kind of frustrating. So, but yeah, we caught back up to him, had a hell of a race with him. Finally got to the outside on, what was like 90 lap tires or whatever. I finally just had to stick it on the outside. He was fading. I don't know who he got into with Randy or something. when he almost lost it and probably hurt his tires pretty bad. But I could tell he was struggling, and we were basically second place. And then the caution came out, so that was a blessing in disguise there. And then from them, it was just mayhem.
Right, and then after that, got another caution, a couple more cautions, and then you got to this last lap here. You're coming up some of these guys with those newer tires past you, and then chaos ensued in front of you. And he came home in second. What was going through your head when you saw all this hubbub happening in front of you?
Well, if the fans don't like that, I don't know. It was like the real Bristol. Some drama there. That was great. Me and Tommy were just cracking up about that finish. Yeah, I didn't know that caution we came after about maybe 10 laps and pitted again. We were really, me and Tommy were going back and forth. I think we should just stay on only 5 cars on the lead laps. I really feel bad if we lost this race on no tires or new tires versus just coming with no cars on the lead lap and getting 4. And then we went back to green, and Jose, the car was really tight on the line. I thought we were just going to keep on the inside and just take off. And for some reason, it was just really tight down there, and I couldn't make a good run on Jose. And I'm like, well, shoot, this kind of throws a wrench in everything. And just trying to figure out why we weren't getting past him when it should have been pretty quick. And then, just caution after caution. And that last one, man, I hit the safer barrier. When I lost all that ground, I clipped the safer barrier going into 1, and it got my car upset. And then I don't know if it loaded the car up, because as soon as I got to turn 2, it hit a bump, and it did something it hadn't done all night, where I basically had to say I was going to wreck it, jumped sideways on me, and I had to just back out of it and Daniel got by me. And then, man, that was crazy. At the end, when we settled in behind Daniel racing him, we came down to the white flag, and I saw Parker up there on the inside of Jose, and I just knew what was going to happen. And as soon as they started getting, sideways down the back straightaway, I wasn't lifting. I didn't care. I was all in, and where we came out. So they were wrecking all over, and I guess I picked the right spot in the middle and kind of rear-ended somebody and made it through. And the next thing I know, we're side by side with our teammate for the win, and I didn't want to body slam him for the win, so got a little tight and just tried to race it off before, and we got super, super close there. But man, I'm super proud of Tommy. That was awesome.
Right, man. I mean, getting it from your perspective is a great perspective of it. I mean, we have our view up here on the camera angle we had as it was happening, but coming from someone down on the track like that in the position they were in and coming in here pretty much drag racing, as Joe put it, for that finish, man, it was super exciting for us up here. So is there anyone you want to give a shout out to or thank for this finish here tonight at Bristol? Good points night.
Yeah, that's great, man. I really wanted to win that one. I love Bristol. I haven't raced here in a while. It seems like I was asking Tommy for some pointers, because it seems like the low line is back to being relevant. So, man, that was I'm still kind of at a loss for words. That ending, that back straightaway, when it's blocked like that, you just figure you're going to hit somebody and then it's all over. And, but we came out on the good side of that, and we were able to race our teammate. And I'm really glad we didn't get net code off of 4, because I saw how close we were. That was like driving a real race car off of 4 for the win there. So, man, that's awesome. That was very cool. I'm like I said, I'm super happy for Tommy to get that win. He came out through that wreck too and got on the high side up by the wall and was able to get that great run off of 4 and come to the checkers. So I got to thank my teammates, man. We'll got to thank my sponsors, you guys. Well, definitely, even though I know what happened, I'll be going back to watch that one again, because that's man, my blood's racing right now. That's heart's racing. That was one of the coolest finishes I've been a part of in a while. So it was fun. That's Bristol.
Yeah, our blood pressure pumped up too. So we're feeling it too. But congratulations again, man. Second place finish here at Bristol. Awesome points night for you. Crack into that lead a little bit. You and Tommy both. So congratulations again, like I said, and hope to talk to you again soon.
Yeah, it's even better. Got some points on it too. So thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Go, second place man, Ryan Howard, like I said, good points night. What a wild finish for him there. But this guy came out and survived. Tom, enjoy in the booth, got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Man, I tell you, well, all night long, you kind of struggled early in the race, as opposed to last week. You were up front, and I'd say it kind of just didn't work out with the pit strategy. Tonight it seemed like the opposite. The pit strategy worked out for you. But early in the race, what was going through your mind to having to try to get through the front?
Well, I was just trying. I told my teammates, I said, I'm just going to try something that, another teammate of mine had done in another league, and just try to take care of the right front and just kind of cruise the bottom and just see what happens. And I actually started walking back up there, but then I started really pushing hard, and the leaders, I started losing time to them. I was like, well, I'm just going to roll the dice and just kind of stay out, and maybe I'll get a yellow, which obviously happened. And then it was just go time from there, and I wasn't holding anything back, and I was running the best line I possibly could.
Absolutely. And then, from that point, you got yourself in a good position. Like I said, the caution just fell perfect for tonight. Well, as far as points goes, you were able to crack into that lead a little bit because, Falkenham, he week in and week out just seems to run great. Now, there at the end really paid out because that was a wild finish. What was going through your mind when you saw all that stuff transpire there on the last lap?
Don't lift. That was, I had a feeling I was, obviously Daniel was right on my tailgate there, or spoiler. And I was like, if I could just protect the line and not let him get the run on me and protect the top. And then I saw Josh just barreling in, and I knew he was going to chase the thing all the way up the track. And of course he got into Jose, and I was like, oh my gosh, here we go. And it was just to the point where you just had to try to shoot the gap, and hopefully the the net code world would treat you right, which it ended up doing. And here we are. These things are hard to get, but Bristol's crazy, man. This is what this is what it produces.
And it was a wild finish. I mean, like you said, we saw it up front transpire there with Josh Parker and Jose. Those two up there racing hard. But, usually I say with the Red Seas parted on you, but it kind of almost fell in on you because it was really close with you and Ryan Howard. Coming to the line, you put in victory lane. Good points night for you. Cut into that lead. Now, what do you got to do for the rest of this championship run to maybe run down Falkenham?
Oh gosh, pray that his spaceship blows up in space before he makes it back to Earth. No, it's really just, he's going to be racing hard, and sometimes, maybe I can get some luck where some guys maybe overstep and probably get into him, and he has some bad luck, whatever. But if it just comes down to me and him, he is incredibly hard to beat. He's just every lap, man. He is just kind of unmatchable. I can probably, let's say if we run 20 laps, I can match, maybe 15 of his. In those other 5, man, he's already pulled out the second half. So it's going to be tough. I just can't make mistakes and just put myself in position just like I did tonight. And if I do that, I've got a shot at it. But if I make mistakes, man, it's not going to be good for me because he's not going to make them. It's very rare that he does. And I'm old and he's young, so I'll play the age card.
Well, we got some good tracks coming up. I mean, the one notable track coming up there's Talladega, definitely a wild card race. I put this race into being a wild card, but you survived, came home, put in victory lane. You got anybody you want to thank for an awesome win?
Oh yeah, man. My sponsor, Northern Tool and Equipment, and my teammates, man. Me and Ryan are teammates, and we cut up and have fun. A lot of people get mad when they race, but we usually are laughing at the end of these things and talking junk at the same time. But yeah, snapmobile.shop, and you guys for putting the broadcast on. It's always fun to go back and watch, and Joey for putting up with all the children. So good deal.
Hey, no doubt. Good win, good finish tonight. Again, congratulations on the win here at Bristol.
Thanks a lot, man.
Here we go. Tommy Ryan put it in victory lane and a wild finish here tonight for the Sim500 Ford Entertainment Group Xfinity Series. Alex, that was a wild one. Well, it's going to come down to 12 drivers now for the championship starting next week, and we're getting closer to crowning a champ for the season.
Absolutely, man. Here's the perspective of other drivers that were behind that wreck. Just puts it into place how just interesting track can be, especially here at the end. Guys are wilding over here and doing all this crazy stuff to get those positions at the end of this race here at this track, and makes it super exciting there for everyone watching and us up here and other guys on the track too. So man, that's super exciting finish. I'm excited for the round of 12 to start.
Absolutely. With that said, it was a good one, and like I said, an awesome, crazy finish here at Bristol tonight. Tommy Ryan surviving it, bringing it home in victory lane. For myself and everyone here at Sim 500, everyone have a good night.